Hey legends, we use this video as the pressing topics and the sort of final thoughts for me around certain players, certain positions, certain situations to make this these decisions a little bit easier for you coming into round six and setting yourselves up for later rounds. And I did forget to mention Hugo Savala there in the buys list, and he's definitely on it. The question being is the high break even this week, and considering that he has played 3 games already and did pick up a -4 in 14 minutes in round 4. So you got 18 and 14 the game before, 6 and 11 before that. And yeah, just coming off the bench, he's not kicking in general play and all that kind of stuff, which we should expect this week. The worry is going to be if he goal kicks instead of Sandon. He has a 73% ratio there. Percentage, I should say. And Sandon has actually been kicking pretty well. Hugo will take a lot of the kick meters. Sandon will split a little bit of it, I think, but Hugo will come in as the 7 and do a lot of that work. I personally think him at 230k, you wait the week, you see how he looks. If you want a cheaper half right now, then Jaden Sullivan is that guy. With the Souths, if they can continue to win, he should score pretty well over the next bunch of weeks. We'll get through some comments, and I just wanted to go through a few teams here in the private crew just to give you guys a bit of an idea on how I would set up benches and what you're looking at this week with your final 17s. And we'll go into Katie's team here and just give her a little bit of some thoughts anyway on where she can go. And she's sitting with the Broncos stack there of Arthurs and Shibasaki, but doesn't have Payne Haas. But if you're looking at the bench there, if you're selling Humphreys, you're selling Cole, you've got guys like Gilbert who could be sold this week, but you're looking at benches like Tamale, like Rob Toya. If you're looking in this situation here, I'd be playing Toya and Tamale over Arthurs and Shibasaki this week when she didn't use those scores last week. So they're 2 guys I would have over that. Would Jenkins fit ahead of those guys? Look, I think he's been really consistent and he's an easy one to play in wing fullback. Rob Toya, base stats has been incredible. Just don't give him that try because he's going to get 60 plus in that one. And then Tamale's up against a really poor, or an Eel side that's not great, and they're missing Lomax now, who's one of their best players. So that's how I'd be maneuvering things in this side and using Preston as a loop for someone like Dylan Egan. This team doesn't have a Hubner, but I think Hubner and Dylan Egan are very, very similar. But the easy thing with Egan is that he plays like the second game of the round, and therefore you can have him as an easy emergency 5 there for your side. So that's a good one there for Katie. And yeah, all these guys are in a better position than myself. Let's go a little bit lower than where I'm at the 2,000 mark and go to Christian's team, who asked plenty of questions in the private crew. He's at 2,427. Also has Preston and has Humphreys in there, has Nwangani Tawaze and Cole. So has plenty of options this week. And that's probably the ideal thing with someone like Marky Boy, is that you can loop in that first couple of games. What you can't do is loop guys like Sandon Smith, though. In this scenario here, I still think the Riley Smith does fall below or down in the pecking order. I think Sandon Smith, you play over Smith right now. Sandon Smith, do you play him over Hubner? I think it's pretty close. Pete Mamazella, some people are putting down in that loop slot. He's got 39 and 35 the last 2 weeks, but that 39 included that sin bin. So I think the Pete's still a pretty comfy guy to play in your 17s. It's very hard to go against an 80-minute hooker that can make 50 tackles in a game and has the odd try assist in him. Someone like Jackson Purdue, though, I have him as a pretty solid play this week to show that he has this upside of 61. He's actually coming up against easier sides over the next few weeks, and the edge that he's on against the Bunnies this week isn't as difficult. I think he's played actually over Tamale this week. And I've got pretty high hopes for him. Someone I'm thinking about playing in my 17 as well is actually Yongi. He looked awesome on the weekend, and the main problem here is probably around Lomax and how important he is this side. But the Eels played much better on the weekend, and I can see them doing well again. And Yongi can go into that 40s for sure. But was a bit of a flash in the pan, and he had the try assist, and is that actually going to continue? I think he should be a focal point in this side, and he should be close to that 17. And I'm considering playing him over Brimson at the moment, who did look a little bit better last week, but he still has to get tries to get into the 40s, where we've seen now Yongi has that upside as well. So that's a lot of the decision-making around some benches, and even just to get a bit of an idea on what this side might need. You've got Humphreys out of the team. If you do have Campbell, you can move him up to half, like I'm potentially thinking of doing. You could buy the Fogartys. You could go a bit harder in a different position. He's got Preston, he's got White, so he's not clearly needing an edge. Doesn't have anyone outside of those two and Kitione Katonga that covers that edge position. He could go for any number of guys in that gun spot as well. Couchmans and these kind of guys are on people's radars as well. If you've got Munster, he's a clear hold. Gilbert, you can do what you please with. And there's Heath's team, who we already saw on the video this week. Now, let's go down a little bit further. Who else we got here? Tommy Hoare. He's sitting in at 4,400 as well. And looking at his bench, it's very similar to most. Has guys, someone like Jack Howarth, Stafford Toa. I think he's having 350s in his game. He has to be played first out of all the centres, just because he has that consistent upside. Seyfarth is another one that you could potentially leave out of your side, but he also has that 50 plus upside twice out of his 5 games as well. And I don't think it's easy at all to finish off your 17s this week and get it perfectly. And that's the problem without having a looper, and that's where having someone like Preston can be really, really good and very, very helpful in your sides. All right, let's just get to a couple of the comments. And one said thoughts on Joe Tarpany. Maybe I didn't speak about him in this one, but he's been awesome. And I think he's one of the better buys as well with AFB. And he's in a very similar situation to him and McInnes, and can have big weeks and can have pretty solid sort of 50s and the like there. With the next one here, lock Cole as half, an emergency half, loop Sandon and Metcalf, or just sell Cole for Egan and play Metcalf for Storm. 100% you can just loop in that scenario there. And I wanted to say a big shout out to these guys that are actually commenting for me and helping me out. Reece Walsh, I put in the holds and sell video. Who to captain, Cleary, May, or Haas? We've got, I think, Cleary, Haas, May is the order you probably want to look at. Who should I play out of Toya, Mamazelis, Katonga, Purdue, Egan, and Hubner? Yeah, just spoke about all that there. I think all similar. Do you want more safety in the mids? Do you want more upside with the centres and those guys there? Then we have May, Haas, AFB as starting mid. Would it be okay to add Yo to the mix for consistent big points, or someone like Couch instead? Hashtag awesome video. Thank you. I think you could easily go for Couchman. It's something that I'm personally looking at the moment. You good? Oh, I thought you might have been waiting in there. So. Sweet. It's just going to depend on how you're looking at it, and do you want someone that can still rise in cash and potentially could hold the whole year, or the consistent gun scoring, know what you get type of scoring that you'd get with Isaiah Yeo. Sharp or Campbell in for Humphreys. Up to you on that one. I gave the pros and cons in that video just then. Hudson Young will play Origin. Yeah, good chance for sure. He didn't perform super well, but he only got a few minutes last time. Again, helping me out with the Origin weeks. 12, 15, 18 will be the harder ones. And then 13, 16, 19 won't be too difficult in my opinion. Hey, Jane, would you put Latrell ahead of Yo for a fun pick? Yes, every day of the week. He is a fun, awesome pick this week for sure. And should do really well up until Origin. Bring in Egan and then decide between Couchman, Wong, or Kant. Yeah, I think at this point, it's Couch or Wong. And you can decide which one on that. I personally have Wong already, and I'm looking at getting Couch, potentially, just because he's scoring so well and getting those massive minutes, and the PPM's incredible. So up to you. Wong's probably more the pressing buy this week. Couchman has the duel and is helpful down that route. KPP and Radley, interesting. Yeah, you can jump on these guys, but there's just so many other guys scoring better. It's hard to buy guys like that. Couchman or Wong, again, just said that. Another one asking that question, so there you go. I've given my opinion there. Thoughts, thinking of going Humphreys and Seyfarth to Campbell and Fogarty, Nico, or Katoa. Yeah, I think that's cool. Seyfarth is one of the guys I'll be looking to potentially trade over the next few weeks. Is Jack Collar sell? Yeah, we went through that. And just remember, guys, this is the format going forward. It'll be best buys and the hold sell will follow that. So I'm getting you thinking about the guys you might want and then talking through the holds and or sells in your side. Do I trade Walsh or Seyfarth? Some people are buying Walsh. It's probably Seyfarth. Walsh has more upside. Not that he's playing very well at all. And last one here. Thanks again for the work. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think there's probably less pressing issues this week. There's, the guys in the mid-range. There's some fun picks in Latrell. And some of those mid-range guys have gotten more expensive. They're more in the 6 to 650 range now compared to last year in the 5s. And then there's less cheapies, and the cheapies have gotten a bit more expensive. And it's mainly just Egan and stuff. So a little bit of an easier week, in my opinion, to make trades. It's probably just which guy you want to jump on, which way do you want to go, and who has more upside for you this week. Do you want to go safety? Are you fixing a position? All these types of questions, and just suit it to your side, what your side needs, and make it really easy for yourself. Come back in a couple of hours. You'll see my trades for the week for Fantasy and Supercoach. Appreciate your guys' efforts for watching these videos and helping me out while I'm overseas. Putting in the grind for you guys, and tell all the other boys that have jumped on the channel this week with Nathan, with Heath, with Matt, with Scoop, and also Nikki to round that out. 5 guys is crazy to help me out here. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see how you'll go in round 6. Hopefully it's green arrows all the way into the top 1,000 for myself. And if you're sitting better than me already, awesome. Keep going forward. And if you're behind me, hopefully you can overtake very, very soon. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.